Greetings, Bowtie Guide 5 here, and as promised, I'm going to show you how to sew on brace buttons. So what you're going to need for this is you're going to need brace buttons. Now they're a little different kind of button. They're smaller, kind of a mid-size, little bigger than like my vest button here, but not as big as like a suit button. You'll notice that the edges are kind of rounded, so you don't have any kind of lip to it. You're also going to need a needle and thread, and of course your pair of pants. So I saved these pants here. They were a kind of dress down pair that I've had for a while, and I have a couple buttons that popped off, so they need replacing, so perfect. So first thing we need to do is thread the needle. Now I got a white thread only because the other buttons I have in there already are white. I like to often coordinate my thread to either the button or the color of the pant, so I'm just doing white here. Now I'm doing 2 buttons because that's what needs replaced on my pants. So I'm going to pull enough thread off of here to do 2 buttons, so I only have to thread the needle once. And I think that should be pretty good. And I lied, you also need a pair of scissors because you have to cut the thread off of the spindle. Now I always go back to this end. Threading the needle is probably going to be the hardest thing you do here and the most time consuming. I like to wet it just a little with my lips to kind of stiffen it. And if there's any kind of frayed edges on it, it's going to make it easier to fit it through the hole. And I usually face the needle to where I can see the hole instead of doing it from the side. And you'll be able to see once it goes through, and you just want to catch that and pull it up. And then we're going to come all the way down to the bottom here so the 2 ends meet. Perfect. And then I come through again just to kind of get my 2 pieces together, and we are ready to go. So we'll grab our button and we'll grab our pants. Now the next important thing here is to know where to put the button. So I'll show you here, since I've already got some buttons on here. This is the back of the pants, and you'll notice here on the inside you have the extra fabric for letting out. You always come to the left of that on either side. So you'll see here there's one button just to the left of that, not even a ½ an inch, and then the same on this side. And that's because you want space for that kind of loop and the attachment on the brace. And then on the front part of the pant, I usually have a button right about at the seam of the pocket, and then the other one is usually about a ½ inch or so past the belt loop. So that's kind of how you gauge. And if you're still not sure, there's pictures online you can look up for examples, or if you have another pair of pants that already have the buttons in it, you can use that as a guide, which is kind of what I used to do before I got used to it. So we're just going to take our button now. We're going to bring our pair of pants. Now you just gently set the button atop here. And come to the side a little bit so you can see better. Now what you're going to do is you're going to bring that needle down into the pants. Try to make sure you don't come all the way through to the other side, or else you'll see the thread there, and that's not a good look. And you're just going to come underneath and then back up through the pant, and whoops, lost my button there. And then you're just going to come push back up, and then you're going to come up through your first buttonhole there and pull that needle up. And do be careful not to poke yourself with the needle. I have done that before. Last thing you want is blood on your trousers. Try and come up as far as you can. Leave enough of that thread though showing through, because we're gonna use that to tie off our extra thread. And then you just come down through the next hole and back down into this into the pant, but remember not going all the way through. And there we go. And then we just come back up through that fourth hole and we repeat the process. Now there's a few different techniques here. You can do like a cross technique where you go across. I like to just go, diagonal, but I like to just do straight lines on mine. And I just go around several times to make sure that it's nice and secure. So we did one pass through. You'll want to go again because you can kind of, when you pull on it, it has a little give to it still. So you want to go through again. I usually do about 3 pass arounds, but you can kind of do what you prefer. And then we just repeat the process, coming back through the pants. And then up. And back down. And then I'm just going to do one more pass around and we'll tie it off. Back through. All right, now we can check our button here. You can see it is on there nice and tight. It's not going anywhere. So now we're just going to tie it off. So you have these 2 ends from where you started. Now what I do is I'll take this end and I'll wrap it around a couple times, and then I'll go through here and just kind of loop that through and pull it tight. And then we'll do that one more time just to make sure that everything is nice and secure. Then we're going to take our scissors again. We're going to come in here and we're just going to snip off that extra thread. We can get rid of that. And then we've got enough thread here for our second button. But here we go. And now we'll move on to the second button. there you have it, your brace buttons. Now you're ready to hold your pants up with the best of them. So, hope you have found that informative and helpful, and encourages you to migrate from the clip-ons. So I'm going to bid you adieu.